Welcome back. All right, 9 games to review tonight from the National Hockey League. Not too busy of a night. Like, the really busy days, it feels like, are done, and now we're into days where it's still busy, but it's not like crazy 14, 15 game night busy, and it's going to stay this way for a while, so I like that. All right, so first up, we've got St. Louis and Tampa, Binnington versus Vasilevsky. Hedman tips one wide on a rush. Tampa Bay presses at 2.5 minutes. Point has a rush chance that saved. The shots are 4-2 Tampa at 4.5 minutes, and they would get onto the board first. Cirelli, he scores from Geeky and Hagel at 5:14. Walker then had a breakaway. Vasilevsky poke checks him on that. Blues press, they draw a power play. Things are pushed in a hole by Vasilevsky during that. That is killed off. Holloway has a shot after, which is held. The shots are 8-4 St. Louis with 9 minutes left. The Bolts press with 4.5 minutes left. Kyrie's denied on a fast break. Things are pushed in a hole by Binnington with 2:29 left. Tampa gets a power play. That's killed off. It's 1-0 for the Bolts after 1. Second period, Kyrie has a rush chance that's saved. Joseph has a rush chance that's held. And then on a wrister from the inner slot, Perbix scores at 3:42. Kucherov and Point with the assists makes it 2-0 for Tampa. We get a power play for Tampa not long after. That's killed off. Saad then has a net feed that's picked off. Neighbors is denied on a fast break. And then Hedman turns a puck over, and Buchnevich ends up burying it at 12:15. Thomas with the assist. That makes it 2-1 for Tampa. Tampa Bay presses for a response. And then at 13:31, Gonçalves gets his first goal. It's from a sharp angle. I don't think Binnington expected a shot there. Kucherov with the assist. That is the first NHL goal for Gonçalves, and it ends the night for Binnington as Hofer goes into the net. We then get a power play for St. Louis. That was killed off without a shot on net. We had a fight between Schenn and Lilleberg. The Blues press in the final minute, but it's 3-1 Tampa after 2. Third period, the Bolts press at 2 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. The shots are 3-2 for the Blues at 5.5 minutes. St. Louis with some pressure at 7.5 minutes. Texier has a rush chance. That's kicked aside. The Blues press with 8 minutes left. With 5:47 left, Tampa Bay goes back to the power play. That's killed off. Tampa Bay then presses with 2.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 2:10 left. And Jake Gensel, who was looking to keep his goal-scoring streak going, he hits a post on the empty net. And that makes it 4 wins in a row for Tampa. Not him hitting the post, but the fact that Tampa Bay wins this. It's their first 4-game winning streak of the season. They win this one 3-1. Tampa Bay 18-10-2 with the win. St. Louis 15-16-3. And that coaching bump they got feels like it's come back now to not necessarily where it was under Bannister, but not entirely different. So shots on net, 10-7 St. Louis in the first, 12-8 St. Louis in the second, 10-3 St. Louis in the third. They do outshoot Tampa 32-18. Power plays 0-2 for Tampa, 0-2 for St. Louis, 0-3 for Tampa. The hits 26-19 for St. Louis. Binnington saves 8 out of 11. Hofer saves all 7 shots in relief. Vasilevsky saves 31 out of 32 at the other end. Vasilevsky had himself quite a good game. All right, next up, New Jersey and Columbus. So Allen versus Merzlikins, and I'll let you guys in a little bit of a secret. New Jersey came into today number 1 on the power rankings. Early jump for the Devils. The shots are 3-0 for New Jersey, 2.5 minutes in. Van Riemsdyk then has a wraparound that's saved. Monahan with a near miss on a turnover. Nason has a net feed that's picked off, and then at 7:55 on a rush, Provorov buries a rebound to make it 1-0 Columbus. Aston Reese and Olivier with the assist. The Devils press with 9.5 minutes left. Bastian has a net feed that's picked off. Luke Hughes is then denied on a net drive. The Devils press with 5 minutes left. Shots are 9-7 for the Devils with 3.5 minutes left. But we come out of that first period with the score 1-0 for Columbus, and those shots got adjusted down in between periods as well. Second period. Shots are 6-2 for the Devils at 3.5 minutes. Devils played a very good game. In fact, the announcers kept talking about how Jack Hughes might have had his best game of the season tonight. I think he had like 12 shots. Something along those lines. We then get a power play for Columbus. There's a near miss for Voronkov. That power play is killed off. Columbus presses at 7.5 minutes. Eventually they go back to the power play and they score on it. And it's Voronkov. Tipping in a point shot that went past the screen. Werenski and Marchenko with the assists at 9:36. Columbus is ahead 2-0. Shots are 10-5 for New Jersey with 7.5 minutes left. Luke Hughes to Howla. There's a near miss there. And then at 13:58, Monahan buries a rebound to make the score 3-0 for Columbus. Voronkov and Marchenko with the assists. The Devils press to respond with 3:50 left. The Devils get a power play. Nason's denied and close. That power play's killed off. The Devils then press in the final minute. Luke Hughes has a chance that's kicked aside. It's 3-0 Columbus after 2, even though they'd been outshot 24-14 at that point. Third period, Luke Hughes is robbed on a rebound. The shots are 4-2 for the Devils at 4 minutes. Myers then denied on a rush. Elvis was really the story in this game. The shots are 11-4 for New Jersey with 8 minutes left. Early goalie pull because they're down by 3. Columbus ices the puck with 5:04 left. And eventually, with Elvis down, Luke Hughes puts a puck into the net at 17:10, gets New Jersey on the board. So you pull the goalie again, and they score again. At 18:34, he sure tips in a point shot. Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes with the assists. Devils call a timeout. They pull the goalie again, and at 18:50, Monahan hits the empty net to end the comeback attempt. Columbus wins this one 4-2. They go to 13-15-5 with the win. New Jersey 21-11-3 with the loss. Shots on net, 7-6 New Jersey in the first, 17-8 New Jersey in the second, 18-6 New Jersey in the third. Final shots 42-20 for the Devils. Power plays, New Jersey 0 for 1, Columbus 1 for 2. The hits 19-15 for New Jersey. Allen saves 16 out of 19 in his return to action. Merzlikins, 40 saves on 42 shots. Might be the best game he's had all season. And New Jersey, are they still in first place? Maybe you'll find out on Saturday. But they committed today in first place. All right, next up, the LA Kings and the Philadelphia Flyers. So it was Kemper versus Kolosov. Good early flow. Not a lot of whistles early on. Shots are 4-1 Philly at 3 minutes. Teams trade turnovers. The Kings press at 4 minutes. Hathaway's denied and close. Kings then get some more pressure 7 minutes into the period. Things are pushy on a hold by Kolosov. There's momentum for LA, but Kolosov was pretty good early, and then they broke it. At 10:53, Fiala puts one in on a fast break. Dano with the assist, so 1-0 LA there. Chanot then has a rush chance that's blocked. The shots are 8-5 for the Kings with 6.5 minutes left. At 14-11, Philadelphia ties it. Cates with a nice deke in close. Brink and Forrester with the assists. It's 1-1. Kings press with a minute and a half left, but it stays 1-1 after the first period. Second period, there's an early press by the Kings, and then at 1:31, Janot puts them ahead again. He puts a loose puck in from in close. Fogle and Spence with the assist there, so that makes it 2-1 for LA. Shots are 3-2 for Philly, 4.5 minutes in. Lawton has a wraparound, that's held. Couturier has a rush chance, that's saved. We get a power play for the Kings, that's killed off. Lawton has a rush chance that's saved, and then Forrester buries the rebound from Lawton at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's a 2-2 tie. We get a power play for Philly, and right after it ends, Philadelphia gets their lead back, or their first lead of the game, I should say, because LA scored first, so this 3-2 lead is their first of the game. It is Forrester from Frost and Tippett at 15:04, so 3-2 for the Flyers. Flyers press for another. Fogel's then denied. The Flyers rush the other way. The Kings press in the final minute, and they score. At 19:16, it's Kopitar from Laferriere and Gavrikov, so it's 3-3 after 2. Third period. At 1:54, Fogel scores from Spence and Moverare, so all of a sudden LA's got the lead back at 4-3. Turcotte has a rush chance that's held. The shots are 3-0 LA at 5 minutes. It was like Philadelphia just ran out of gas. Flyers press at 5.5 minutes. There's a power play drawn by Philadelphia. That's killed off. The Flyers press at 9.5 minutes, but then Kopitar buries a net feed from Turcotte and Gavrikov at 10:39. That's an insurance goal. It's 5-3 for the Kings. Flyers press with 8 minutes left. The Kings get some pressure with 5.5 minutes left. Philadelphia would pull the goalie with 4 minutes left because they're down a couple. Byfield hits the empty net at 16:23 to make it 6-3, and then with the goalie back in the net, Fiala buries one from the side of the net. Laferriere with the assist at 16:34. Kolosov just lost track of the puck. Makes your final score 7-3 for the LA Kings, so this is an 80s game because there's 10 goals. The Kings go to 19-9-4 with the win. Philadelphia drops below NHL 500 at 14-15-4. Shots on net, 11-9 LA in the first, 15-8 Philly in the second, 8-2 LA in the third. Final shots, 27-26 for the Kings. Power plays, LA 0 for 1, Philadelphia 0 for 2. The hits, 14-13 Philly. Kemper saves 23 out of 26. Kolosov, 20 saves on 26 shots. So Kolosov had a good start. It didn't stay trending in that way. All right, next up. Pittsburgh and Nashville. So it's Jarry versus Saros. There's a press by the Penguins at 2.5 minutes, but at 3:51, Marchessault scores from Forsberg and Schenn. Now I want to explain this. The Penguins say that the puck left the ice surface. Mike Sullivan called the referee over. My guess is that the referee informed him it's not challengeable because it was at the other end of the ice. If a puck had gone in at that end of the ice before the puck was cleared out, it's reviewable. It is not reviewable once it's left the zone. So did it leave the ice surface? Maybe it did, but it is not challengeable, so Pittsburgh doesn't do that. Preds look for another. The shots are only 2-0 though for Nashville 6.5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. And then Nashville draws a power play. That was killed off as well. First shot with the Penguins isn't until there's about 7 minutes left in the first period. So Nashville was controlling Pittsburgh really well at that point. Shots are 5-3 Nashville with 4.5 minutes left. But at 16:21, Rust scores from Raquel and Crosby to make it 1-1. Then with 3:32 left, the Preds get a power play. So it was almost right after that goal. And at 17:57, Evangelista buries a rebound and close. Novak with the assist puts Nashville back in front by score 2-1. Penguins press to respond, but it stays 2-1 Nashville after the first. Second period, Malkin with a net feed, that's blocked. We get a power play for Nashville. The Preds say goal. It is reviewed, and in fact, it is a goal. It went off the back bar, so Stamkos gets that one on the power play. Forsberg and Nyquist with the assists at 3:38. It's 3-1 for Nashville. O'Reilly nearly adds one. We then get a power play for the Penguins. There's a post for Crosby, and then on his next opportunity, he puts it in. Right near the end of the power play, it's Crosby from Carlson and Rust at 7:54. The Penguins then look to tie it, and they do at 9:08. Raquel tips one in from in close from Crosby and Rust. And as crazy as that first half of the period was, there wasn't really much that happened the second half of the period, so there aren't any notes there because it's just 3-3. So we go to the third period. There's an early press by Nashville. Nashville ends up drawing a power play. That's killed off. The Pens clear after that's done. Teams trade rushes. The shots are 3-1 for the Penguins at 5.5 minutes. But at 7:44, Shea roofs one on a 2-on-1 rush. LaRue and O'Reilly with the assist. So that gives Nashville the lead back at 4-3. Power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Shots are 5-4 Nashville with 9 minutes left. And at 11:37, Carlson ties the game up for Pittsburgh from Grzelcyk and Crosby. The Penguins then press with 5 minutes left, looking for the lead. With 2:06 left, the Penguins get a power play. Nashville kills that off, which means overtime. In the overtime, the Preds control early. The teams trade turnovers. And at 1:07, Rust wires one from the slot to get the win for Pittsburgh. Malkin with the assist. With the 5-4 overtime win, Pittsburgh above 500 at 15-14-5. Nashville 9-17-7 with the overtime loss. Shots on net, 9-5 Nashville in the first, 7-4 Nashville in the second. Both teams had 10 shots in the third, and Pittsburgh just needed the one shot in the overtime to win it. Final shots 26-20 for Nashville. Power plays 1-for-3 for Pittsburgh, 1-for-5 for Nashville. The hits 24-15 for Nashville. Jarry saves 22 out of 26. Saros, kind of a rough night statistically, 15 saves on 20 shots. But I know he had only faced 9 shots through the first 2 periods, and he'd allowed 3 goals in those first 2 periods. So just, it's a rough night for him. All right, next up, Seattle and Chicago. So unexpected results here, at least a little bit. It's Decord versus Soderblom. There's an early press by Chicago, more pressure by them at the 3.5 minute mark. The shots are only 2 apiece at 4.5 minutes. Teams trade rushes. The Kraken press at 8.5 minutes. Done as a net feed. That gets picked off. Shane Wright can't bury one in close. The shots were 5-4 Chicago with 8 minutes left. The Hawks press with 5 minutes left. There's no score after the first. Second period. Good Kraken forecheck early on. We then get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. The shots are 5-0 Chicago 4 minutes in. So not a great start for the Kraken. Good forecheck or not. Bjorkstrand has a net drive, near miss there. The Hawks press are kept to the outside. Sprong has a slot shot that deflects out. Dickinson gets hurt. He collided with Tolvanen. He went to the room. I didn't see that he came back out. I don't see that he got a point. But yeah, it was a collision, and there was no intent there or anything. Those are really dangerous because you're not braced for it. The other player's not braced for it. You just slam together at a pretty fast speed. So Kraken press with 9.5 minutes left, but on a turnover at 10:54, Mikheyev puts one in. He scores from Teravainen. Mikheyev's finally getting some goals. It's nice to see. Seattle presses to respond. Then there's a post for Kakko on a rush. Kakko got some good ice time tonight, and I thought he looked all right for Seattle. We get a delay of game call. The Kraken go to the power play. That's killed off. We then get a power play for Chicago. That becomes a 4-on-4. Then we kind of had a fight between Murphy and Dunn. Sort of. So, at any rate, it's 1-0 Chicago after 2 periods. Third period. Early jump for Seattle. The Kraken draw a power play. That was killed off, and Chicago did a really good job. There wasn't really anything dangerous for Seattle during the 2 minutes they had that power play. Shots are 4-0 Seattle at 4 minutes. At 6:08, Mikheyev gets his second goal of the game. Teravainen and Bertuzzi with the assists. The Kraken press at 7 minutes. Tanev is robbed as the Kraken are in complete control, but they're down 2-0. Kraken press with 9.5 minutes left, and eventually at 11:24 on a cross-ice pass, Evans buries one. The assist to Bjorkstrand and Montour. Montour prevented the clear there to help set that up. Hawks press with 7.5 minutes left, but the shots are 10-4 for the Kraken with 5.5 minutes left. And then at 15:11 on a tic-tac-toe play, Allen gets his first NHL goal. He scores that from Donato and Connor Murphy. So the goalie pull happens with 3:35 left. Seattle tries. They don't get a goal. Your final score in this one's 3-1 for Chicago. They go to 12-19-2. Chicago's playing well. Seattle is not. They're 15-17-2 with the loss. Shots on net, 10-5 Chicago in the first, 11-9 Seattle in the second, 12-5 Seattle in the third. Final shots 28-24 for the Kraken. Power plays 0-3 for Seattle, 0-2 for Chicago. The hits 26-19. Seattle. Decord saves 21 out of 24. Soderblom saves 27 out of 28. So good night for Soderblom again, and a good night for Chicago. That being said, let's go to board number 2. All right, board number 2. Ottawa, Calgary. So let's get into the West Coast swing for Ottawa. Again, Ullmark versus Vladar. Lone shot on net was the Sens shot at 3.5 minutes. So just one shot early, kind of a quiet start. The Sens press at 5 minutes. Greg has a shot that's held. There's more pressure by the Senators at 6 minutes. The Flames then get some pressure of their own at 8 minutes. Shots are 3 apiece with 9.5 minutes left. There's a post for Giroux as the Senators get some pressure. And then at 12:15, Coleman buries a rebound. Ball and Coronado with the assists. The Flames look for another. The Sens, though, they press with 3 minutes left. And at 19 minutes, Cousins puts a rebound pass to screen to get the tying goal. Sanderson and Hamonic with the assists. The Flames press to respond, but it's 1-1 after 1. Second period, Kachuk's denied on a fast break. The Sens press at 3 minutes. Coronado has a rush, that's defended. Pahal fires one wide as the Flames press. The shots are 4-3 for Ottawa at 8 minutes. We get a power play for the Sens. There's a shorthanded rush by Backlund at the end of that to put that to rest. The Flames press after the kill's done. Pelche's denied on a fast break. We had a fight between Cousins and Pahal. The Sens press with 8.5 minutes left. The Sens go back to the power play, and it's a 4-minute power play. It felt like this was a big kill for Calgary, and they do. They kill it off. Just 2 shots for Ottawa on their back-to-back power plays. That 4 minutes. And remember, when it's a 4-minute power play, they count as 2. The thing that I always find weird about the National Hockey League, I understand why, before anybody in the comments actually, a 5-minute major is counted as 1 power play. Unless you score on it, then it counts as 2. And if you score on it twice, it counts as 3. And a double minor always counts as 2 power plays. It's one of the weirdest things about the National Hockey League. It's just so odd. Anyways, Kadri has a net feed that's blocked. The Sens go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Things are pushy at the horn with Pospisil down. Calgary didn't like that, so it's 1-1 after 2. Third period, early press by Calgary. The shots are 2-1 for the Flames at 4.5 minutes. We then get a power play for Calgary. There's a near miss for Backlund. The puck goes the other way, and Ridley Gregg buries his own rebound on a breakaway at 6:24. Ottawa has the lead. It does not last. At 7:16, a puck goes in off Huberdeau's skate. Coronado and Zeri with the assists. So they reviewed it. It was not a coach's challenge. They reviewed it just to make sure it wasn't kicked in, and it counted. Now, since it was off the instep, I knew there was a 50-50 chance there. When it's off the instep, it's far more likely to get called back than if it's off the outside of the skate. So that goes in off his skates. Reviewed, it counts. The shots are 7-3 for the Flames with 9 minutes left. Things are pushy on a hold by Ullmark. The Flames press with 3 minutes left, but it was pretty obvious this was being played into overtime, and that's where we go. The Sens control early. Sanderson has a rush that's saved. Huberto's denied. The puck goes the other way, and Tkachuk buries a rebound on a rush. Stützle and Ullmark with the assists at 55 seconds. That makes it a 3-2 win for Ottawa. They go to 17-13-2. They've won 5 in a row. And Calgary 15-11-7 with another overtime loss. Huberto wasn't happy. He wanted a call on the play. But either way, the shots 8-7 Calgary in the first, 12-9 Ottawa in the second, 13-7 Calgary in the third. Ottawa outshoots Calgary 3-1 in overtime, including the shot that matters. Final shots 31-29 for the Flames. Power plays Ottawa 0 for 3, Calgary 1 for 2. The hits 30-27 Calgary. Ullmark 29 saves on 31 shots. Vladar 26 saves on 29 shots. So Ullmark continues his amazing run of recent play. And if you're a Sens fan, are you feeling almost like optimistic? It feels like you need an antacid for it because it can't be a natural feeling, right? All right, Boston and Edmonton. Swayman versus Skinner at 107. Lindholm puts one from a sharp angle past the screen. Marchand and McAvoy with the assists. Boston's ahead 1-0. Pastrnak has a chance that's held. The shots are 2-1 Boston at 5.5 minutes. Pastrnak goes end-to-end on a rush. That was defended. Does not get to the net. Bruins press at 8 minutes. The Oilers then press with 9.5 minutes left. Pasternak's denied on a breakaway. And then at 17:35, Kastelik buries one on a net drive. Beecher and Carlo with the assists. It's 2-0 Boston after one. Second period. Better start for Edmonton. The Bruins would press at 3 minutes. We get a power play for the Oilers. That's killed off. The shots are 3-2 for Edmonton at 7 minutes. McDavid has a net drive. That's blocked. We get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. There's a press by the Oilers at the half, and at 11:17 on a turnover, Hyman puts one through Swayman. Draisaitl with the assist. It's 2-1 for Boston. Zach Hyman stays red hot. The shots are 7-2 for the Oilers with 5.5 minutes left. The Oilers draw a power play. That becomes a 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. It is 2-1 for Boston after 2. Third period. The lone shot on net is the Oilers' shot 4 minutes in. Bruins press at 7 minutes. McAvoy is a one-timer. That's held. Skinner beats Marchand in a rush to the puck. And I mean Stuart Skinner, not Jeff Skinner, the goalie. Brown has a net feed that's picked off. There's bend don't break defense by the Bruins, which always makes me scared because it means you're kind of only playing in your end. You're not going very much past the red line. You're protecting the lead. And when you're protecting the lead, it as a football fan reminds me of prevent defense. And we see this a lot in the NHL, and I'm not sure why we see what is basically the NHL's version of prevent defense, because you're letting them get all that zone time. You're letting them control the play. So, and I'm not saying that as an insult to the Oilers, because I understand the Oilers were playing well, but just Boston, clearly every time they got the puck, dump it in, dump it out, dump it in. All right. So Zacha fires one wide on a turnover. The shots are 7-6 for Boston with 4.5 minutes left. Draisaitl has a one-timer that's held. Then there's back-to-back icings by Boston, playing with fire. The Oilers press with 3 minutes left, and at 17:39, McDavid goes 5-hole on a net drive. Hyman and Draisaitl with the assists. The Oilers then look for the lead, but we're going to overtime. So both games in Alberta went to extra time. In the overtime, the Oilers control early. The Bruins take over. They set up. Their chance is saved, and then on a rush, Ekholm buries one from the slot. Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl with the assists at 103. Edmonton with the comeback victory. They go to 19-11-2. With the 3-2 overtime loss, Boston drops to 17-13-4. Shots on net, 11-5 Boston in the first, 10-6 Edmonton in the second, 9-8 Edmonton in the third, 2-1 Edmonton in the overtime, including the shot that matters. Final shots are 26 apiece. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 2. The hits 30-25 for Boston. Swayman saves 23 out of 26, and Skinner 24 saves on 26 shots at the other end. All right, next up, Vancouver and Vegas. Vancouver fans are not happy right now. Now, normally I don't give out any kind of spoilers, but Vancouver fans are talking about how boring the team is to watch and how the offense is falling apart. Under Rick Tocchet, the same thing happened with the Coyotes. The Coyotes became a team that was not necessarily predictable, but not entirely creative. The style of hockey he plays, which demands the back check, which demands that defensive responsibility, can be a tough watch. And when the team's not performing particularly well, it can make it an even tougher watch. So it's Lankinen versus Hill. Carnell Johnson calling or singing the anthem at the start. Always fun to see him. Canucks press at 2.5 minutes. Pietrangelo has a chance that's kicked aside. Eichel fires one wide on a rush. The shots are 2-1 for Vegas at 6 minutes. This game did not feature a ton of shots. There's a press by Vegas at 6.5 minutes. Sherwood has a rebound chance that's held. And then at 8:13, Bluger buries a rebound in close. Sherwood and Heinen with the assists. Vancouver's up 1-0. We get a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off, but it's a 1-0 lead for Vancouver. They had a good first period. And then the rest of the game takes place. Second period, Vegas presses at 1.5 minutes. They have more pressure at 3 minutes. The Canucks press are kept to the outside. The only shot on net is by the Vegas Golden Knights 5 minutes in. So not a lot of chances getting to the net. Vegas presses at 5.5 minutes. The Canucks press at 9.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. Shots are 2-1 for Vegas with 9 minutes left. Hughes gets dinged on a shot block. One of the reasons I don't like to see star players shot blocking as much as they do these days, but I'm just old. What do I know? A guy breaks his knee and he goes out for the rest of the year. At least he blocked that puck that probably wasn't going to hit the net anyways. So Vegas presses with 7 minutes left. Vegas is building some momentum in the second half of the period. Hurdle has a one-timer that's held. There's a stick save on a Garland chance. That was the first shot on net for Vancouver in the period. The rebound gets cleared. And then at 17:35, Pietrangelo on a one-timer from the point. Theodore and Stone with the assists. And I saw a Vancouver fan upset that Lankinen allowed this one. All right, well, put on some pads, get in the net, and let Pietrangelo take that slap shot at you. See if you save it. So the Canucks press to respond. Vegas then has some pressure in the final minute. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period, early press by the Canucks. Stone's denied on a turnover. Absolutely fantastic save by Lankinen. But at 3:44, Carlson puts in his own rebound from Howden on the Canucks turnover. It is 2-1 for Vegas. We get a power play for Vancouver. That was killed off. No shots on net for Vancouver on that. Suter has a shot afterwards that's saved. Vegas then gets a power play. That's killed off as well. Canucks press with 9.5 minutes left. The shots are 5-4 for Vegas with 8.5 minutes left. The Canucks press with 4 minutes left. Vegas, they get some pressure of their own with 2:30 left, meaning you can't get the goaltender out because they have the zone time. So the goalie pull happens with 1:10 left. I thought it was a bad timing because the Canucks didn't have the puck in Vegas' zone because they couldn't get there. And then at 19:10, Howden hits the empty net. Hanifin with the assist. Vegas wins this one 3-1. They go to 21-8-3 with the win. Vancouver drops to 16-10-6 on the year. Shots on net, 11-5 Vancouver in the first, 9-2 Vegas in the second. Both teams had 8 shots in the third. Final shots 22-21 for Vegas. Power plays, Vancouver 0 for 2, Vegas 0 for 1. The hits 21-16 for Vancouver. Lankinen saved 19 out of 21. Hill saved 20 out of 21. So both goalies played well, but in the end, Vancouver just could not generate the kind of offense they needed to overcome Vegas. Last game of the night, we end off with Colorado and San Jose. So this is kind of fun because it's Blackwood versus Georgiev, and they both switched teams. Now they're playing against their former team. Lone shot on nets, Colorado's at 2.5 minutes. The Sharks press at 3 minutes, but we get a power play for Colorado, and they score on it. It is Nichushkin burying a rebound, Makar and McKinnon with the assists at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. The Avs then press at 5.5 minutes. The shots are 3-1 for Colorado at 7 minutes. At one point, I think it was like 8-1 in favor of the Avalanche. There's a press by the Avalanche at 7.5 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. Things are pushy on a hole by Blackwood. The Avs press with 5 minutes left. Toffoli has a rush chance that's held. There's a press by the Avalanche with 1.5 minutes left. And with 25 seconds left, Colorado gets a power play. So they're up 1-0 after 1 to start the second period. The Sharks finish the kill. Press by San Jose at 2 minutes. There's a near miss for Celebrini. His next chance is held. The Avs press at 3.5 minutes. But at 4:26, Grunstrom gets his first of the season to tie the game. Ruda and Cunnin with the assists. He just buries a rebound in close. Nichushkin then has a net drive that saved. Colorado presses at 7.5 minutes. Zetterlund fires one wide on a breakaway. And then Eklund. It's a loose puck that goes 5-hole. Ceci and Eklund with the assists at 9:29. They challenged it for a high stick, for basically a missed stoppage on a high stick. And there was no angle that showed that it was definitively a high stick. So since I was watching Altitude, they said clearly that was a high stick. There just wasn't an angle that showed it. Okay. The goal counts. That means the Sharks are on the power play. Avalanche killed that off, but it does stay 2-1 for San Jose. Kovalenko can't bury one in close. You know he wanted one against the team that traded him. Shots are 9-5 for the Sharks with 5.5 minutes left. The Abs draw a power play. That's killed off. Wallman was down. He took a stick to the chin, to the teeth from Lehkonen, but it was a follow-through, so it's not a penalty. Rantanen then with a rush chance. That's caught and held. It's 2-1 San Jose after 2. And what I keep saying about San Jose is simple. Are they a good, like a playoff team? No. But they are a team that can hurt you. They are a far better team than last year. You need to take them seriously. And third period, it felt like the Abs started to really dig in and play their game. So Goudreau has a turnover chance. That's held. Nichushkin's then denied on a rush. The shots are 5-1 Colorado at 3 minutes. Power play for the Sharks. There was a post for Celebrini. That power play's killed off. Then the Abs rush after it's done. The Avs then draw a power play, and they score on it. Rantanen buries a cross-ice pass. McKinnon and Makar with the assists at 8:26. We then get a power play for the Sharks. That's killed off. The Sharks go back to the power play. That's killed off, although Altitude said neither of them were power plays. And then Kiviranta scores on the rush after that power play. The second power play for San Jose expires. O'Connor with the assist at 13:06. And then after a turnover, Colorado scores again. It's Kiviranta with the second of the period. Lehkonen and Mittelstadt with the assist at 15:58. Goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left. To no avail. The Avalanche win 4-2. They survive a bit of a scare. They go to 19-15 on the season. San Jose 11-19-5 with the loss. Shots on net, 12-10 Colorado in the first, 11-8 San Jose in the second, 13-11 San Jose in the third. Final shots are 34-31 for San Jose. I would say moral victory for San Jose, but no, that's not how it works in hockey. But they're not far off, which can be really frustrating. This is the third game in a row where San Jose's been in the mix and maybe should have got a point, but they don't. Power plays, 2 for 4 for Colorado, 0 for 4 for San Jose. Both teams had 10 hits, not a heavy hitting game. Blackwood saves 32 out of 34. Georgiev saves 27 out of 31. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.